Hello YouTube, this is Who's Your Gardener here. Out picking some beans today. Thought I'd give you a little short tour. It is wet. Indiana has had one of the wettest years in history. It was like one of those, what they call 100-year rains. Just seems like we've had rain non-stop this spring and summer, both. We got a dry spell for about 2 weeks, and it started raining again. But I had to get out here and do some picking. You can see my tomatoes over here. The bottoms ends on them, they've got blight. It's just too much water, y'all. But there is quite a few tomatoes on here. So I've been just kind of going along and pulling the leaves off, the bottom leaves off of them, and just letting them do what they're going to do. And hopefully we'll get some tomatoes. We got a handful here that are in pretty good shape. So I've got some neighbors and some friends that they've said, you know, hey, if you ain't got enough, just let us know. That's what gardening's about, really. I like to hear that myself. Because I know I've done that before. You know, if you find someone that's in need, and you've got more than enough, which, come on, all of us gardeners always plant more than we need anyways. It's kind of an addiction for us. Come springtime, boy, we just start planting like fools, and we always have plenty. I like to pass it on. You know, once you pass it on, the good Lord said he'll bless us for that. And I may not have a whole lot to pass on this year, but I'm going to try to pass on a little bit. Beans are doing real well. That's what I'm out here doing today. I just started picking me some beans here, but I want to slide back in here and show you some of these beans. As you can see right here, now these are a flat style pod bean. They are stringless. The name escapes me now. I got them from Park Seeds. Very, very vibrant type bean. They're huge. And I thought, you know, being that big, they're going to be, you know, kind of fibrous, woody or whatever. They're not really. They're just a big flat pod type bean. And these things are just loaded right now. So I'm gonna get these picked and not a big row. Like I said, I didn't know if I'd like them or not, so I only got about 100 in a package. You know how they'll send those. And I don't know. I like them. You know, they've got a very good flavor. We've already eaten some. And I think I'll probably get this picking off of them, and we'll see how it goes. But I may just go ahead and dry some of these out and reuse these next year. My trellis will be different next year. I showed you guys that garden bed that I built. I'm gonna build another one next to it. Sorry, I had a mosquito on my arm. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some cattle panel and I'm gonna arch it between the two, and that way it'll be nice and strong. But peppers are coming along. They had a slow start just because, you know, peppers like the heat, and with all the rain and stuff, really hadn't had much heat to begin with. So they're just now starting to produce. I got my volunteer sunflowers there. This whole patch right here was the potatoes. They're going to be dug here in the next day or so. The tops on them are starting to yellow out, and I'm quite ashamed of them. You know, I'm not this type of gardener. My garden usually is really immaculate and stuff, but once the rains came and they just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming, there was nothing I could do with them. You know, I couldn't hill them. By the time, you know, it dried out enough to get out in the garden, the weeds had just overrun them. So I'm not going to expect a big crop off of them. But you know what? The Lord can change that too. So, you know, maybe I'll get my 50 pounds of potatoes back out of them. Maybe I'll get a little more. But we'll see. Looks like I had a volunteer tomato come up out of them potatoes over there. My broccoli, it's done. Pretty much, you can see it's gone to flower. I grew these a couple years ago now. This is one of the only hybrid tomatoes that I've grown. And I just like them. Usually I'm an heirloom guy. But these are those golden raves. They don't get any bigger than that right there. They're kind of small. Right there. But they are a very low acidic tomato. They're delicious. They're just delicious. Matter of fact, the other day I come out and got some and looked in the cabinet, and we had some hot dog buns, and I just sliced them up and laid them in them hot dog buns and put some mayonnaise on them. Boy, we had a feast. Of course, that's what us country folks do. We just eat what we got. So, short little review. It's not much. I got this pepper plant here. He's got some on him. Just started. But you can see the portion of the garden that I did do the cardboard and straw in is not in bad shape. Versus, you know, this would be a good comparison between the two. This over here I did nothing with. I couldn't because it started raining. And then as you come over here, this is what I did the cardboard and the straw in. And like I said, this fall, I'll start cutting my grass, and I'll put my grass clippings on top of this. And then when the leaves fall, I'll start cutting the leaves and mulching them. And they'll go right on top of the grass. And this mulching process, I don't even till anymore. Every year I just start over. Wherever I stopped mulching, I just rake it out as flat as I can. And then I go right back over it with cardboard. Luckily, we're not too far from our local high school over here, and they have a recycling facility at the high school. And I'll go in and get boxes. I try to get big boxes. I'll go get like refrigerator boxes and that kind of stuff too. They seem to do really well because they cover ground a whole lot better. And they're actually a little bit thicker. People ask, well, isn't that stuff going to mess your garden up, that paper and stuff? And actually, no, the worms eat it up. By the time I come out next spring, all of this cardboard that you see will be gone. The worms will just eat it all to pieces. What's great about this is, and I can't show you now because we've had so much rain, but even in a drought season, and I've had this same method going for about 10 years now, and we've had a drought before, and my garden was just booming. And I've had farmers come by, what are you doing, watering that every day? And I'm like, no, it just stays moist underneath this cardboard and stuff. And the moisture is retained underneath it, and my garden just thrived when everybody else was just shriveling up and dying. So, well, there's just a short little segment here. I hope it wasn't too lengthy. I'll let you see what I'm doing today. I'm going to pick those beans right there. Hopefully get them snapped before I gotta go into work. And I wanted to show you my garden bed over here. I did get it full. And I'm going to start working in some compost in it. This is just regular old dirt in here now. And I'm going to level it off. I've been doing that swimming pool job. That's awful. You buy a swimming pool at the beginning of the spring, and you can't put it up because there's so much rain. I do have the dirt and everything and sand and everything squared away, but there it sits over there underneath the lean-to in the barn. Just been too wet to get it up. I hope to get it up before winter, but that way at least it'll be out of there. So, big week this week. We had 6 rabbits down at the Indiana State Fair. All of them all of them won some sort of division. They had 6 rabbits, and nothing placed lower than 3rd, which I'm real proud of the kids for that. There's 4-H fair. It's a good program. If you're not in it, you might check it out. See if it's something you want to do. The rabbits that we have, I'll do another video on that, but they make excellent compost for gardeners. I'm not kidding. That is one of the manures that you can go straight into the garden with. And it's not hot, and it works really, really well. So, all right, who's your gardener here? Lord bless. Have a good day, y'all.